Good morning, Rabbi Sai. What an unbelievable day. I've been waiting for this day for over a month. Avi Kamiansky is back. How long were you gone for?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. That's people moved to Eretz Yisrael with a sacrifice. His Parnassah, a lot of it is over there. And he had to go do a trial. 6-week trial. Unbelievable, the sacrifice. Southwest Airlines is ending. That's why we have editors. Southwest Airlines is ending its free. Rabbi, check this out. Just 2 days ago, I said in Shir that Southwest, everybody remembers the Southwest corner of the Mizbeach. And I gave a whole list of things that they were great at and this and that. Check this out. Breaking news. L'chayra, the CEO of Southwest watches the Shir. The next day, we'll charge for checked bags. And those are the two things I said. They don't check for bags. They don't charge for bags. You can see wherever you want. Punkt. They opened in 1971. 53 years later, the day after I mentioned in Shir, I said, so it has to be that he watches the Shir. Shalom Reveli, I do the daf late at night, right before going to bed, and sometimes I nod off and wonder, if it's worth watching, and I'm half asleep. But this is Baruch Hashem, a few others darim of learning anyway. When I saw the daf, when Robert Early walked in and the whole room stood for him and erupted in song, I literally held back the tears. Then I realized that the genuine achdus fostered by MDY is second to none. MDY is a microcosm of Klal Yisrael, and Hashem surely sheds tears of joy, Kaviyachol, when he sees the real love we have for one another. Esther Malka surely understood this. Her response when Mordechai insisted that she go to Achashverosh was, Lech kenoises kol hayudim. When we truly get along and love each other, we can annul and decree. Wishing you a Purim Sameach and continued health in Nachas, Nochem Shor, Neve Yaakov, MDY since Yivamis. Here's a picture of him, the one with the black beard, and that's his father with the white one. Those are his sons. 3 generations of MDY.
So that's Eli Short. You look so tall there, Eli. Is that from Cleveland?
You look like the MDY Yeshiva.
Hello, Rebelli. Listen to this. Y.M. Halpern. Yitzchak Meir, Yisrael Meir, Halpern. Hello, Rebelli. I'm in 7th grade in Brooklyn. I watch the Shir every day. I love it. In school, we were learning a vocabulary word, the word addict. And my teacher raised his hand. He said, raise your hand about your addiction. And I raised my hand and I said, I'm addicted to Rebelli. My teacher loved it. Happy Purim. A loving MDYer. Y.M. Halpern, a loving MDYer. I like this a lot. This is in Muncie. A guy just sent it to me without any explanation. So if you're in Muncie, Montebello Road, Suffern, they're doing a 7:15 minyan. Exciting program, running daily after davening. Come and learn with us and build the MDY family with like-minded others. Reb Eli Stefansky, Shkoyach. Yossi Wasserman, hi Reb Eli, hope all is well. I'm in the middle of watching the emails from yesterday's Shir and was inspired to write this email to you about the MDY Yeshiva. I remember how the idea was spoken about not too long ago, and I can't believe how you made it happen, of course, with Hashem himself so quickly. A lot of people think that it's Purim shtick. Okay, right before Purim, I'm going to announce that it's just a shtick. No, it's not a shtick. It's truly remarkable. It's also amazing because you said you wanted to do it and you actually executed it. Thank you for teaching us to be an oimer va'isa. Definitely was necessary to talk about the yeshiva in order to bring in guys who are looking for a great yeshiva where they can learn and grow. He's saying, because that email said he wants me to ask other people, so he's writing in that he thinks it's a good idea. As so many of us who learn in your shir, but I will just talk for myself now, had trauma from Gemara in yeshiva. But Baruch Hashem, I started learning with your shir consistently a few years ago and overcame it through the shir. Otherwise, I could have been one of those guys who did not open up a Gemara in 20 years. And there's still so many people we need to reach. And with the new launch of the MDY Yeshiva, they won't get to that point. They won't have any trauma. I wish I had such an awesome opportunity when I was at that age to join a yeshiva like this. I did tell my nephew, Shmuel Grumbaum, who fits the criteria about it, and I hope he gets in. Let's make yeshiva great again. Let's make yeshiva great again. With much gratitude and appreciation in Talmud the Mafreya from Brochus, Yossi Wasserman Yishkoyach. Yosef Benedict. Thank you for an amazing shir. My 15-year-old Bacher, Aaron, is really enjoying and keeping up Baruch Hashem. He would love to join you at the Siyum Sanhedrin, so please announce the date of the Siyum at the shir. Thank you, and looking forward from your far-off cousins in Melbourne, Australia. Benedict are related to Stefanskys. I don't know if there's going to be a Siyum on Sanhedrin because it's like so close to Pesach, and I'm going to be probably in America then. I don't know. We have to think about it. It's not looking good.
Never stopped us before.
You guys can make it. I guess he wants to see you, maybe. I don't know. Hi, Rebelli. Thank you again for your daily. Come to Chicago. We'll make a little seal in my house. Thank you again for your daily efforts, time, and energy you put into our innovative learning. Yemir Hashem, you have great success with the new yeshiva as well. On the way home from work on Erev Shabbos, I see this high school young man proudly wearing his kippah in London, Daniel Shaw, doing the daf with MDY on the tube. No, but maybe tube is a train. Okay. That's a teletube? What do they call it? TV? No, I know tube is over. I thought, how did it say TV? Isn't there another? Oh, I'm confusing it with the show. Perhaps Rebelli can give him a shout out. Wishing you a Freiliche Purim, Yitzchak Cooper. Beautiful. On the tube, he's smiling to himself. Gewaltige stuff.
Yeah, he's got good. He's probably laughing at a joke.
One last one. I just heard the Rebbe's shir on today's daf. I took out his, even though he put his name in, I took it out for his safety. For his, not the word safety is not the right word. For his privacy. It reminded me of this email thread as I was having a manic episode and was diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia. I wanted to know what prompted the remark about how mental health patients need to be treated with respect and understanding, as well as my experience has been very hard, unfortunately. A lot of people have judged and are scared of it and completely cut me off, including many Rabbanim at the same time. At the same time, I wanted to apologize for those emails. I hope now it sheds light on why they occurred. All the best, Avi. So sometimes people send me very interesting emails, and I'm reading this because it hit me. Like, I know about this, but like, why is this guy sending me interesting emails? And now he's explaining. Avi, Yishkoyach Avi. I could put the name back in. I was trying to help. The sponsor.
Say something to him.
The Masechta is sponsored. The lirfo Shmuel Ben Chaim, Ettel, Yosef Ben Chaya Sara, Ben Alte Nechama, by their grateful family, should have a lirfo shalema. Anonymous, Hatzlacha, Berukhniyos, Begashmiyos. By Larry Cohn, in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 7 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter. Anonymous, for the unity of the Jewish people, Glenn Esterson, with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Monthly sponsors, Zechraya Ben Moshe, Yosef. I forgot, I just want to say this, that I saw Shalom Rand. To me, I wasn't going to ask anybody to put it on their status, whatever, but Shalom Rand on his own, so I want to give him a shout out. Because it's not his thing is, to have fun things on the status there. He put the whole Eretz HaKodesh thing on his status, so I'm very proud of him, and Yishur Koyach. Binyomin Rosenfeld, Hatzlacha be Parnassah. Yosef Ben Chaya Sara, Hatzlacha, Borukhniyos Begashmiyos. Lili Nishmas, the fallen hostages. Ariel Ben Shiri, Kfir Ben Shiri, Shiri Bat Margit, Parnassah Berevach, Baruch Tzvi Nissen Ben Shoshana Leah. Actualize. Call sponsors: Yaakov Ben Saru, Mishpachtei LeBrocha Hatzlacha Amen. Weekly sponsors: Hatzlacha in audit and tax season. Daily sponsors: the Yosef Moshe Ben David, Rav Moshe Feinstein, Yud Beis Adar. Wow. How many years? 39 years ago, I would say. That's 39 years ago. I was at his Levaya. 39 years ago. Of course I was at his Levaya. I remember vividly. I remember where I stood. I remember there was vans and people on top of the vans. You remember that? On the vans? Wow. And I'm pretty sure that unless I heard it later and I thought it was then, that one thing stuck out from the whole Levaya, that I think his son said, I don't remember who, that his father would take his socks and put it on the radiator so that his socks would be nice and warm for when he was. So maybe I heard it later, but I think I heard it then.
I know that from the book.
Sometimes you think, in your mind, you think you heard it. Lili Nishmas, Reb Aaron Ariel Ben Reb Shimshon, Zechron, whose first yahrzeit is today's, the Neshama should have an aliyah. Wow, Reb Moshe Feinstein, what a unbelievable Goladar that lived in America. Art of the month. Refuah Shlema for Yohanes and Eitan Ben Basheva, for Schus for Rebellion, the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah and joy of so many, in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. So the art of the month, this is kind of new. No, we had this name before, but I don't. Refuah Shlema for Yonatan Eitan Ben Basheva Bracha. Unless it was at the art of the month and I just don't remember, or it was moved there. Turning the daf for Adar Global, experts in Oh, correct. They're all, I don't know why it's there. Very good. You get it twice in a day. That's why it's great to be in the front. Rav Isai, you know who can't answer this question. I'm not going to tell you. Yes, he walked in the middle of shir, so I said, okay, he didn't hear the shir yet, so let me ask him, and he already answered. But here's a question. When is it a mitzvah to curse your own mother? Who said? Da-da-da-da. Very good. What's your name again? Gabriel what? Gabriel Meir. Wow. Who? Barrett. See, I just want you to know that there's a total of about, I would say, over 100 people that I asked in the last 12 hours, and you're the only one that knew it. So very nice. All the way from Gimel, no? Where do you come from? No, from the Merkaz. Okay, so okay, from the Merkaz. You walk here? No. Okay. It's okay to walk also, it's only 7 minutes. It's geschmack for the... one more question. This is real... Oh, I thought he screamed it out. Scream it out again. Screamed it out. Scream it out.
When she's a saita.
A saita. And the husband, or the kohen, the kohen performing the thing is a son, so you would have to curse her. But we're going to see soon, there's other ways for a father. But here's a very, very interesting one. This is going to get you good. If a person curses his father who's no longer alive, what do we do to him? Or we don't do anything. His father's dead, and he cursed his dead father. What do we do? Machloikis. Nice start. What do you say, Hillel? Machloikis? Bad. No. Don't say machloikis. No. His father's dead. Dead like a doorknob. Malchus. No. You know what the answer is? You're not going to believe it. Misa. You kill him. The father's dead.
So it's right.
Zakta Gemara. Yesterday, we were discussing somebody removing a thorn from his father's body, from his hand, from his foot. We said it's asur because it could create an isser d'oraisa of removing blood, giving a chabura to a father. And as we learned, that giving a chabura to a father is the first word on today's Amud, Peidal Amud Beis. Elu anechnakim hamake aviv. You get chenek for wounding a father with blood, whether it's outer blood or a broken vessel inside, black and blue mark. That's where you get misa. So you cannot remove a thorn from a father. And then a kid asked me, I'm not a Rav, so I didn't even answer. Well, I wouldn't answer him anyways because I don't really answer emails. I read them, but I don't answer. He says, can I spar with my father? We spar jujitsu. I'm not a Rav. Ask your local rabbi. You're not allowed to give your father a haircut because you might nick him. There's different halachas. Everybody asks. If there's no blood, this, that, then maybe there's a black and blue mark in jujitsu. I would probably think paintball for sure not. Paintball would be also what?
Rabbi Mordechai Willig would only play basketball if his kids were on his team, not on the opposite team, so that they would be.
Okay. You valid basketball only when you're on the. Okay. Yep. Basketball is dangerous. Even on your own team, sometimes you break your teammate's nose by mistake. Depends if you're a rebounder or not. If you're outside shooter, then it's okay. It's whatever. Okay. So ask the Gemara, if it's a problem to do something, you're trying to help your father, but you might draw blood, and that will be a shogig of chenek. But so why does it say v'adisnan machat shel yad litol bois hakoitz? So let's talk about Hilchos Shabbos Muktzah. It happens to be that Muktzah is one of my favorite halachas because when I was about 15 years old, one Shavuos night, I decided to learn Hilchos Muktzah, and I learned from beginning. It's very long, and I learned it by myself, sat in shul, the whole night, that's what I did. So I think that that's one thing that I have gears to the youngest, everything else I forgot, that one a little bit. So there's, in Muktzah, you have Klisha Melachti L'Isser, the famous Klisha Melachti L'Isser, you have like a hammer, it's meant to build. When are you allowed to touch a hammer on Shabbos? L'Tzaireh, Gufay Mekayimai. Gufay Mekayimai, what does that mean? If I need the actual hammer for a mutter to crack a nut, or it's on my seat and I need to sit down, so you move it off. So you have a needle. The needle is aser. We're talking about a regular needle, a sewing needle. It's aser. It's aser to move. It's for sewing. Sewing is the rice. So when are you allowed to move it? You're allowed to move it when I need it, like to crack a nut. So what do you do with the needle? You remove thorns. Here we have a upgraded for today. Here's a thorn in the guy's finger, and with a needle you somehow could remove it. Okay. So that's the Gemara. You're telling me you're allowed to move the needle if the guy has a thorn, meaning I'm allowed to remove a thorn on Shabbos. What about the fact that there's a possibility that blood will come out? Skila is even worse than what we said yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about chenek for a father. Now we're talking about skila, which is a heavier punishment, and I'm not so concerned. You could take the thorn out. Says Gemara, Hasim Kalkalhu. When you destroy something on Shabbos, it's not such a problem, especially over here that it's a shaygig and the guy has a lot of pain. So Rabbanon said you could do it. You might by mistake take out blood, but the guy has pain. Okay. That's great. If you say that on Shabbos, if you destroy something, you knock down a building, you're potter. But according to the Malama, it says that when you makalkel, you destroy. You are chayav, so you're chayav misa. So now once again, it's a shoygig of chayav misa. You might draw blood, which you're ruining. It's a bad thing. But according to this man, you're chayav. So how can you do it? Why is it not muktzah? Man shamis leidam makalkel chavur chayav. Who says when you're makalkel, you're chayav? Reb Shimoni. Daf Pei Omer Al. Reb Shimon HaOmar Kol Melacha She'ena Tzricha Legufa Potter Leo. Reb Shimon says here. Let's say this case right over here. What's a melacha she'en tzricha legufa? In this case, this guy wants the dirt. You're not allowed to make a hole on Shabbos. But if you want the dirt, not the hole, then it's not a problem. It's a melacha she'en tzricha legufa. Over here, what does the guy want? The guy wants.
Good morning,
on Shabbos. Okay, it's on a weekday, but he doesn't need the hole, he needs the dirt. So over here, he wants to take the thorn out. He doesn't want the blood at all.
It says a Korea.
It's a tzarech mitzvah. There's a lot of shilas here. It's on Shabbos. It's called the Rabbinay. He's chayiv on the. Reb Shimon, Ha'omar, Kol Melacha She'en Tzricha Legufa. The guy's not makbid because he's watching the shir. What? Okay. Kol Melacha She'ena Tzricha Legufa Potter Aleha. The guy doesn't want the blood at all. He wants the thorn out. So it's Melacha She'ena Tzricha Legufa Potter Aleha. You're potter from what? From Misa. But it's also Potter Alav also. There's a concept in Masechet Shabbos. Potter Alav also. You're not allowed to do it, but you're not chayiv misa. So if you're not chayiv misa, then the whole question falls off because we said that you're not allowed to take a thorn out of your father because there's a chayiv misa if you do it by mistake. And over here in Shabbos, how come you're allowed? Because there is no chayiv misa. This is a beautiful shiloh. You have a son who really doesn't like his father much. He wants to give him a nice beating. For all the beatings he gave him throughout his life, he wants to give him a beating. But he knows that if he gives him a beating, he's going to get it from Bezdin. He might have to die. When the announcement comes out that they're looking for a volunteer to give the father Malchus, he's the first one to call up. And he's like, I would love to volunteer. Is this mutter or aser? When do you curse a father? When is a mitzvah to curse a father? When you have to put him in chayrim. So, can a son be an appointed shliach from Bezdin to give the 39 malchus to his own father? So here's a chiddush from Rav Sheshes. Let me ask you another question. Are you allowed to hit your friend? No. So how come you're allowed to give him 39 malchus? Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu said, so you do it. Hachanami, Kavod Shemayim Adif. How does, he says, how does Kibbut Aveim fall into this thing at all? I'm doing a mitzvah. Hashem said, hit this guy. He needs 39 malchus. So what's the difference? Son out of son. You're not, just like you're not allowed to hit your friend, you're not allowed to hit your father. You're allowed to hit your friend for 39 malchus. You're allowed to give your father 39 malchus. Now the Gemara is not going to like that so much. What?
Learn from Pentosha the same thing. A father is a separate law besides that.
But when it comes to HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, do something, you do it. You don't ask questions.
Just learn from the same Pentosha. What's the reason why you can't hit anyone? It's
Yeah.
the law of Malchus.
Okay. So Adarab, you're saying very good.
Totally separate law that you have to be mitmoded with.
Oh, you're saying there's another lav. I hear. Okay, good kasha. Maybe you should look in Taisus. I don't know. Just a side thing, because everybody knows this, but a little bit of a Yisafa. When Reb Shamshon Raphael Hirsch was old, he said he wants to go to Switzerland. She said, what are you going to Switzerland? You're very old and frail. He says, because I don't want to get up to Shemayim, and Akash Baruch was going to say, he said, Loshen, Shamshin, do you see my Alps? Famous Reb Shamshon Raphael Hirsch. So a Rav said once, Halavai, when I get up there, that's the only thing they're going to say. Like, Avram, did you see my house? And when I heard that, I was like, that's one thing Hashem is going to say, I think you saw my Alps enough, Rebel. You got But in our yeshiva, Beis Hashem, the Rebbeinu Shalom is not going to be able to ask the Bachrim, Chevra, did you see my Alps? Because we are going to go on these Alp trips all the time. It's going to be Masechta after Masechta. They're going to know about Peh, and they're going to go on the Alps. And that's not going to be the Shaila. There's going to be other Shailas. Givaldik. Meisvei. Okay, so of course, this is like one of these interesting riddles. This is a riddle, so you have to pay attention over here. A person who's commanded to hit, mitzvah shelo la'koisoi, is commanded not to hit. And if you're not commanded to hit, certainly you shouldn't hit. What is going on here? So perhaps we could explain it. My love, we're talking about a shliach bezdin who's asked to beat this guy up, give him 39 malchus. Ha bibnai, ha ba'acher. And the distinction is there's a son who shouldn't do it, and there's another person who should. So what would it be, and what are we trying to gain here? What's going on here? What's this whole kavachomer? We're trying to come up with an hazara. What's a hazara? The Torah says, if you do something, you get malchus, but I need also to warn the guy in the Torah. There needs to be a warning. Here's the warning. So what's the kavachomer? Kavachomer goes as follows. Ruvain can give Shimon malchus. He's an appointee from Bezdin to give malchus. He's allowed to. Yet, even though he's allowed to give malchus, if he gives one more, it's a deraisa. Pen Yosef. You're not allowed to. So a father who's not allowed to give his father malchus, certainly he's not allowed to. The son. What did I just say? Father. A son to his father who's not allowed to give his father malchus, certainly. In the street, he's not allowed to give him a zetz that draws blood. That's the kavachomer. So again, let's repeat just that last line. A son who's not permitted to give his father malchus under any circumstance. Kasha and Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes says the son is allowed to give his father malchus. What's the problem? He's Mikayim Hashem's mitzvah. Hashem said give malchus. Give malchus. What's the difference? Father, son. But what's the kavachomer now? A stranger who's allowed to give malchus, he's not allowed to give the 40th. So a son who cannot give his father malchus under any circumstances, even in Bezdin, certainly is not allowed to give his father a chabura out of Bezdin. But you see, a kasha and Rav Sheshes, that over here it says a son should not give his father malchus as a shliach of Bezdin. So the Gemara like, that's not what the kavachomer, that's not what the riddle is. That's not the answer to the riddle. What's the answer to the riddle? We're not talking about a son, we're not talking about a stranger, we're talking about all people. So what's the kavachomer? The distinction is not between a son and a stranger, rather the distinction is between when it's a mitzvah to give somebody malchus and when it's not a mitzvah to give somebody malchus. A regular person who's giving malchus to his friend in Bezdin, there's a chiyuv not to give more than 39. You give 40 yover, so there isa mitzvah shaloi la'koisoi shaloi b'makom mitzvah. And if it's not in Bezdin, sheni mitzvah la'koisoi, where there's no mitzvah, and it did mitzvah shaloi la'koisoi. So that's the Hazara. What do you mean they did? Oh, from over here I see that the Torah is very makbid not to hit somebody. Do not hit anybody. Nachamol, you can't repeat it enough. I have to tell you, in all my years in yeshiva, I don't think a single Rebbe ever told me, Yoiver and a deraisa for hitting people. And I used to hit people every day. No, seriously, and I don't know if that age. But I was big into fighting. Lo Yosef, maybe somebody should have told me. Just like you makbid on not eating treif chazer. Lo Yosef, Yosef, you can't punch a guy in the face. You can't kick people. What are you going around hitting people? Stefansky, chill out. Nobody ever told me. Seriously, maybe Rabbeim, maybe they don't want to. Mutav shu shoyg about you amazing. He's going to beat people up anyways. We don't want him to get misa for it. Oh, Malchus. But you get Malchus. And this is the Hazara. The Torah says Lo Yosef, but where else does it say in the Torah? Over here, we have a Kavachomer. Tashma, Hayotze lahareg. This is Gevaldik Sugya. Listen to this. This makes a lot of sense, actually. Imagine if a father does a terrible, terrible thing, and all of society knows what he did. Not only that, they're going to take him out in front of everybody. They're going to give him the death penalty. It's embarrassing for the mishpacha. What about shidduchim? What's going on here? This kid is so upset at his father, he can't control himself. And as they're taking him out, he curses the father. Curses him. Makes sense. I could see it happening. Now he gives him a smack across the face, and blood comes out of his mouth. He's chayiv or not chayiv? He's in shackles. So upset at him. You destroyed my life. The whole world is going to talk about what a disgusting father I have. He gives him a punch in the face, knocks out his tooth, blood comes pouring out. Chayiv or not chayiv? What if, Gavrik Tila, what if, I would think he's a dead man walking. What if he's not a son? What if he's a stranger? He's so mad at him. Chutzpah, you killed my neighbor. Poof, punches him in the face. So you're not going to believe it. There's a distinction between a stranger and a son. A stranger is potter, a son is chayiv. Let's see. Tashma. He cursed him out in front of the chayiv. You're chayiv. I would say, like Ariel, he's a garik tila. You didn't curse a live person. You cursed a dead person. He hit a dead person. No, he's chayiv. However, if it's a stranger, v'kilaloi, potter. We're going to get to there soon. That mikal after misa is a problem. And the Gemara asks, what's the difference? So we have a number of reasons here. I think it's 4. We're talking about a father whose the verdict was death penalty, so they start taking him out. What does he do? He digs in, he holds on to something that he's not letting go, he doesn't want to die. So the son comes over to him, gives him a gesunte zet to keep him going, to move him out the door. So Rav Shesha says that in Bezdin a son is allowed to hit the father. Over here we see a son is not allowed to hit a father. It says he's Messiah of Latzes. That means Bezdin wants him to move, he's not moving. So Bezdin is going to say, hey, get this guy moving. What are you going to do? You give him take a stick, give him a whack, and he moves. So why is he chayiv? Why is the son chayiv? So the Gemara answers, Rav Sheshes Muki lo b'she'im misarvim by Latzes. So we're going to have to go step by step here. First of all, there was no contempt in court. He wasn't doing anything that court wanted him to do. The son, on his own, went and hit his father. Not because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to leave. The son walked over him for no reason. Not for no reason. He was upset at his father. He gave him a whack. Chayiv misa. So if that's the case, that the guy wanted to go on his own will, so why if somebody else off the street comes over to him and hits him, he's potter, he should be chayiv. So first of all, Gemara says over here that when it comes to somebody else, he hit somebody that's already dead. He's makal somebody that's already dead. And then therefore, he's potter. And we have to understand how come by his son is different. Ask the Gemara of Amar Rav Sheshes, Bisha Yashin V'meis, if somebody embarrassed somebody who was sleeping, and then that person died, chayev. So first of all, what is he chayev? What's going on here? So maybe I'll show you a little video first. In camp, what do people do to people who are sleeping? What's the big prank? Huh?
Finger in the hot water.
Finger out water?
Finger in the hot water.
That's one thing. What else? Who said toothpaste? Toothpaste. Shaving cream. Magic marker. Now, another thing, and punkt, it's interesting, I saw this on Sholem Rand's status. I don't watch Shalom Rand status. When I do, I do. So, what's the number one thing important that the Kfir really get upset at all these Shiva guys? When they show up with the 45-foot limo. They spend $10,000 on a limo. They collect $6,000. They're in debt for the rest of the year, but Lamaisa they had a limo. And all the money of the Kfir goes to the limo. So that's why these Shiva Bachrim, they always park around the corner. They have a whole shtick. So that's what you need to know for this video. And that being said, here we go. Oops. Here. Oh no, Bishoy Yoshin. We're going to see. They took him out of his house, in his bed. Toothpaste, Mecham into the toothpaste. Crest. Okay, so the kid said the limo killed the guy. So let's think about it. He was embarrassed in the middle of his sleep. Could you embarrass somebody that's sleeping? Not really. When does the guy become embarrassed? When he wakes up and he sees he has toothpaste and the shoe polish, whatever it is, that's the busha. But this guy never woke up. He woke up in the base of Kfaris. He's dead man. So he never had a busha. Yet it says over here, you're chayiv. Who do you pay? What are you chayiv for? You're paying the busha that the children have. When the kids find out that the father's put in the middle of the street and the toothpaste, all of it, they have a busha. For that busha, you have to pay the kids. So Mela, how could you tell me that somebody who smacks a guy, a dead man walking, is potter? What about the busha that they caused the family? You should have to pay. Even this guy who died, you have to pay the kids. It was less than there was only a little bit of toothpaste. It wasn't a full pruta worth of embarrassment, and therefore there's nothing to pay. Okay? So even if it's less than a pruta of money, but you still have to get malchus on it, it's super interesting to me. I have to look into it again. I remember when we were learning it. If a guy has to pay, let's say $1.50 for the busha, so he doesn't get malchus. Why? Because you can't get malchus and pay. So it's kedai. You pay $1.50 and you get out of 39 malchus. I think anybody would pay that. But that's how it works. So the Gemara says, what do you mean?
It's on the Mesa, so it should be in Madonna.
No, but that's coming to the Ramah. That's something else. It's b'shas ma'isa. I'm killing somebody, and at the same time, I'm chayiv money. Over here, I'm just chayiv money. There's no misa.
How do you measure the value?
How
do you measure the value?
I don't let Bezdin deal with it. I don't deal with it. How much would you pay for this? How much would this? I don't know. There's a busha app, and you go to the app, you stick in how much toothpaste it was for how many minutes, and it calculates for you. Machshav busha. Hiko akoshem b'shav pruta loika. So it says Gemara, my potter ka'amar potter mim mamain. Of course he's chayiv malchus, but he's only what it says over here. He's potter from payment. So it says Gemara, Michlal, it doesn't make any sense. Michlal, somebody else is potter, only from money, but he gets Michlal the b'noi chayiv mammon. What? The son has to pay? He's potter, son is chayiv, we said. Chayiv what? He's potter from money, son is chayiv money, but it's less than a pruta. How can you be chayiv less than a pruta? Ela b'dinoi. So we must say that hachanami b'dinoi. You're either the son is chayiv misa, and this guy is potter from malchus. Akoponim, you see, they chayiv misa for hitting a father. You can't say we're talking about money here. We're talking about a serious punishment. So chayiv and potter is misa and malchus. He's chayiv misa, he's potter malchus, and it says that you chayiv misa. So why are you telling me, Rav Sheshes, that if you're doing something like that, you're potter? Why is somebody potter for cursing a dead man walking? Because it says you shouldn't curse a nasi. So, and this is the famous halacha, when you curse somebody that's a amcha, it's part of the nation, then you're chayiv. But if you curse a guy that's walking, what is it called when they walk him to the death? That's what it's called, dead man walking. He's a dead man walking. So he's a guy that's oiver aveira. He's eino esamais amcha. He just murdered somebody. Just was Shabbos before whatever it is, basra. Take him out. then if you curse him, you're not chayiv. He's an Eino Yosef Ma'asamcha. That's the Gemara. What do you mean? The father also. He is Eino Yosef Ma'asamcha. Oh, sorry, where am I? Oh, today on Tena Klala. Hakam min Alan. Great. So you have a pasuk about Nosi Loisari, which means a curse. And what about hitting the guy? Why are you parted from that? The Makshin and Hakal Klala. So when it comes to a stranger, there's a hackish between the two. And he's parted from both. If his father is not always saying Ma'asamcha, we're talking about a person that's not, he doesn't do the right thing. He's not part of the nation. So why is his son chayiv? So the Gemara, we're talking about the person did tshuva. So now he's a tzaddik. He's also Ma'asamcha. Says the Gemara, he did tshuva. The father did tshuva. So if he did tshuva, you're not allowed to hit him. So if he did tshuva, the stranger also did tshuva. So you're not allowed to hit him. Back to the first kasha. It says that you have to survive. And this guy's not going to survive. In 2 minutes, he's going to be hung. In 2 minutes, he's going to be skila. So, not hung. Skila, saif, whatever it is. So, meila, you're not over on him. Ask the Gemara, so if you're not over on a guy that's about to die, so why are you over on a father? And here comes the big one. Amud Beis. A person who curses his father after he dies is chayev misa. So memela, a person who's going out to die, you're chayev for him also. So over here, before we go to the turning of the daf, we can do the turning of the daf because I'm going to forget. Turning of the daf, Adar Global, experts in international financial services. Dr. Alan Barber Listhouse, in memory of my dear father Joseph Listhouse, on his 45th yard site, Yosef Ben Aaron Olav Shalom. Lirfo as Rivka Henyo Bashalamis with force at Tinoik, Yechaskidi Ben Chama Shendel. Nad Life Realty, Bet Shemesh, and Moshe Einorn, in honor of rebellion, the entire MDY family. So says Rashi, a Mordik Kasha. What are you telling me? Dead man walking, you're chayev. Why is it? How do you make the distinction between a dead man walking and hitting your father after he dies? A guy that's a dead man walking, you hit him, you're chayev. So how come after? Why is it usher? Why, if Rashi has the opposite, if it's mutter, not mutter, but if you don't get punished for hitting a dead father, why do you get punished for hitting a dead man walking? So Rashi says amazing. Rashi says because a dead person is different than a dead man walking. A dead person you can't give him an injury. You can't do a chabur after he's dead. Yeah, blood might come out, but that's not nefesh. The problem of causing blood to come out is that you're taking part of his life out. It's the nefesh. Once he's dead, he's dead. You can't take a little bit of his life out. His life is gone. But when he's alive and he's a dead man walking, halachically he's dead man, lemaisi, he did a chabur, lemaisi, he took some of his life out. And that's the nafkamina. So I saw in Sefer Hasidim, he says, think about it. What is the difference between hitting a dead father and cursing a dead father? What's the svara to say that if you curse a dead father, you're chayiv? What do? Huh? Not covet. He says because you damage the dead man's neshama. Your curse could damage his neshama. So you actually are causing damage. But hitting a dead body, not causing any damage. There's no damage there. My havelo. At the end of the day, can a son perform the malchus on a father who's chayiv 39 malchus? A son should not be the designated shliach from Bezdin. Chutz mimesis. We learned a number of things when a person convinces other people to do avodah zara, that a son could perform that as well. So that would be a question in the Dirshu test. Tell me different things that a mesis is different than anything else. So here's one, that a mesis could be the shliach of Bezdin to give his father malchus. What else could a mesis do? What is a mesis? What? Very good. Poischim. You don't have to start with the good. When he's a murderer, he's a mesis, you don't have to start with the good. You don't reverse a judgment against him. There's no asra. The mesis, we learned a number of things. Mesis is different. Don't have any compassion. Says the Mishnah. You must draw blood, or at least break a blood vessel and have a black and blue mark. It's a Mefurish Mishnah that there's a distinction between a cursor and a hitter. If you curse your father and mother after they die, you're chayev. What are you chayev? Misa. I think it's a tremendous chiddush. I think if you ask people on Purim, they will not know this, so you should tell them this halacha. Tell him that's the beauty of Daf Yomi. You learn all these random halachas. If you curse your father after he dies, chayiv misa. I don't think anybody in this room guessed that when I asked the question. V'amakel la'achar misa. And if somebody hits his father after he dies, potter. You potter. Tana Rabbanan. Avi mikilel. Look at this pasuk. It's so obvious when you see the pasuk inside. It's right in the face. Look at this. Look at the problem here. Asher yikalos avi v'simai. Avi mikil dambai. It's double. Why would the Torah repeat itself? So obviously the Gemara says it's coming to say a new halacha. Avi mikil. You know why I repeat the same thing over? Because there's cursing after death. Lachar misa. Yeah, they're similar. There's a memetzino. There's a hitter and there's a cursor. When you hit your father, we said already, we established, you're not chayiv after death. You're only chayiv when he's alive. I would think it makes a lot of sense. I think everybody in this room thought the same thing. The father is dead. He's dead. You didn't do that much damage. It's not the same kind of cursor. He's not chayiv for that. When you hit a father, it doesn't matter if he is doing the right thing or not. Even if he's a machal shabbos v'res and you hit him, you're chayiv. However, nevertheless, but if he's dead, you're not chayiv. We said, if you curse a father who's not keeping the Torah, you are potter. Certainly, and he didn't. Certainly, once he's dead, you're not chayiv. That's why I need the pasuk of Mikil. Lachar miso. Says Gemara, this avimoy that we see on the chart over in the bottom, he says it's extra. Yoshi says it's not extra. Where does he say? The Sanya, ish. So you see the pasuk, it says the word ish twice. Why would it say it twice? Not only an adult man who harms his father is he chayiv, but even a daughter, even a tumtum androgynous, we don't know if they're male, female, chayiv. Asher yikal sov v'simoy, Eli ela aviv v'imoy, aviv shlo imoy, imoy shlo aviv minayin. It seems from the pasuk you have to curse both of them. How do I know individually you're chayiv? And we had this. I just grabbed this chart from Daf Samach Vav, because if you look closely, it says yikala l'saviv. The word klala is right next to aviv, and the word klala on the bottom is right next to mother. So now I see that if you curse your mother by herself, you chayiv misa. You curse the father by himself, you chayiv misa. So Rabbi Yoshi says that I need the bottom part of the pasuk to teach me the individualism of, if there's such a word, of klala. Rabbi Yoshi. I can learn the pasuk anywhere. I could say it means both of them together. I could say it means each one individually. Where do we have the word yachtav? The famous yachtav in the Torah. Shor v'chamar yachtav. You can't plow a donkey and a bull together. So over there it says yachtav. If it doesn't say the word yachtav, it doesn't mean together. So, Minole, how does Rabbi Yosha know that if you curse your father after he's dead, you are chayiv? A third pasuk, or not, I shouldn't say a third, another pasuk somewhere else, where in Shmois, where it says, it doesn't even say the word ish over there, it says, and if you curse your father. Over here, this pasuk is great. Why? Because it doesn't say like this pasuk, ish. It doesn't talk about a man. It says, anybody who curses a father, whether you're a female, a male, whether you're an androgynous or a tumtum, you're chayiv. Ask the Gemara, why does he need that special pasuk with David Ishish? Why didn't he learn from the first pasuk that we were learning? Rabbi Yosef was learning from Ishish. You can't learn from there because it's not something to, it's not extra Ishish. This is how human beings speak. That was normal to talk in Hebrew, a double lashon. Hineni, Yaakov, whatever it is. I don't know what the double lashonis are in the Torah, but there's a lot of double lashonis. Ask the Gemara, you should say that there's something that a hitter has. The Mishnah says there's something that there's a chumrah, a cursor over a hitter. That a cursor, even after death, there's a death penalty. But not if you hit your father after he dies. As the Gemara, that what? There's a chumrah, a special thing that we don't have by a cursor, that we only have by a hitter. If somebody hits his father, it's a tremendous chiddush. Think about it. A father goes off the derech. The whole neighborhood knows that he's off the derech in front of everybody. shaves his payas off his beard, he starts being Michal Shabbos b'Farasya. The son comes over to him, he's angry at him, gives him a gezunta zetz, and he bleeds. Chayiv Misa. In the rest of the Torah, you don't see this. If you talk Lashon Hara about somebody that's Michal Shabbos b'Farasya, I'm not saying halachas now, throwing it out there, ask your own Rav, look into the Shmir Saloshin. Let's just say as an example, it might be okay. Not okay, or whatever. You're not chayiv anything. He's not oisim ma'izamcha. He's not doing the right thing. Although my chavrusa just told me he came from a whole seminar on kids that are mitmoded. They're challenging children. And the guy says there's no such thing as einu oisim ma'izamcha today. All these kids are all anusim. The oines. They're mamish rachmanas. You have to this. Then okay. Each case, ask your local rabbi. I'm just saying the concept. Over here, you have a guy. Is a Rosh Koilo that knows everything, and he becomes a Rasha. Thank you. Becomes a real Rasha before Hesia, and the son comes and hits him. He's chayiv misa the son. Big chiddush. But if the same guy was cursed by his father, if he was cursed, he wouldn't be chayiv misa. So here you have that a hitter is worse than a makal, where in the Mishnah we had a makal is worse than a hitter. So the Gemara he holds that they're the same. That both of them you're chayiv. Says the Gemara, perhaps this is very similar to another machlokes. The Tani Chada, kusi at mitzuva al kasev, at mitzuva al kilolasi. Very interesting. A kusi. What's a kusi? We had a whole nation of people, and this machlokes is always are kusim geri emes or geri arais. Did they become gerim willingly because they loved Hashem, or they were just scared from the lions? So it says that if you hit him, if you hit let's call him Ovid Kachavim to be PC, Ovid Kachavim, you hit an idol worshiper, you're not chayiv. But a kusi, at the mitzuva la'akasa, you'd be chayiv if you hit him, but you're not chayiv if you curse him. What's pshat? V'tanya yidach, and another brayso says, at the mitzuva lo yakil losiv lo alakasa. You're not chayiv for anything. So what's going on? So the kuli alma kusim geri emes. Here, this is a kusi. No, this is a geri arais. Geri emes is right over here. Yeah, they have the shomranim today. These are kusim. Say they kusim. So they became gerim because they loved. Later on, they started sinning. So what are they? This is a kusi that doesn't do ma'aseh. Kusim geri emes. So what? That for both you potter. Right? Just like klala, you makish hitting. If you hit, you're potter. So if you hit, you're makali potter. And he says, no, only one you're chayiv, not the other. According to everybody, we don't make it next. What's the machlokes? Whether it's this, geri emes, or do we say they are geri arayis? That's how geri emes. Just for the Nyan the Yoima, I know it's late, so but it's almost Purim. The Gemara Megillah, it was like Tesvavish, I think that's where we found it. Tesvav Amud Beis. That, or where was it, Rabbi Ariel? Somewhere like that. That the Esther says, protect me from Achashverosh. She called Achashverosh, she called him a dog. And it says that Akash Baruch took away her nevuah, and later on when she called him an Ari, that we're talking about over here, Tesvav. So the Hashem gave her back to the Ruach Kodesh. So what they say pshat. Rashi says one pshat. They say pshat that a dog you could deal with a dog. A dog that comes to you, and this is a public service announcement. When a dog chases you down, the worst thing you can do is run away. You run away, he will get you. You can't outrun a dog. But if you face him and you charge him towards him, he will stop. Ma'aseh Shaya, I tried it a number of times. But a lion, and ask anybody that was there, I had this chus to touch one and whatever, I could just tell you that if you look at the lion's claw, that's the word, claw is the size of your finger, literally, each claw. I saw, and I have a picture of a zebra, is walking, minding its own business, but it had 5 cuts right down its thick-skinned back from these claws. Anyways, you have no chance against a lion, 0. So Mela, when Esther said to Rebbeinu Shalom, protect me from the lion, in other words, I have no chance, it's only you, and I need you, then I don't remember. Says the Gemara. He's saying. So Gemara says, but that's a kasha. That what? But we say that a kusi's bull is like a Jew's. In other words, if you damage it, you have to pay, which you don't say by regular Eved Kechavim. And there's a tam and there's a muad. So how can you tell me that anybody holds they're not a real ger? El shmamino like we wanted to say in the beginning. Shmamino, Rabboisai, have a wonderful day.